This hour, the FBI investigating a vehicle explosion between the U.S. and Canada border near Niagara Falls. This happening on the U.S. side of the Rainbow Bridge, which connects the two countries across the Niagara River. Digital producer Donovan Miner joining us live at the First Alert Now desk with the latest on this situation. Hey, Donovan.
Hey, Sam. Officials say two people were found dead in the vehicle that exploded at the checkpoint on the American side of a U.S. Canada bridge in Niagara Falls. Now, law enforcement citing videos showing it accelerating at a high rate of speed, hitting a curb, and going airborne over a barrier before exploding. The FBI, New York State Police, and U.S. Customs and Border Protection are investigating, and there are some closures.
There are 4 border crossings that are right now closed: Rainbow Bridge, Whirlpool Bridge, Queenston Bridge, and Peace Bridge. Additional measures are being contemplated and activated at all border crossings across the country. We are taking this extraordinarily seriously.
Now, at this time, we do know all local government offices in the immediate area of the explosion were closed and evacuated, and every vehicle is being screened by bomb-detecting dogs at Buffalo Airport as part of heightened security. Live at the First Alert Now desk, Donovan Miner, Dakota News Now.
Donovan, thank you.